Hey, what do you do when you're at a 2-day match and the end of the first day, you run over your tripod? Hi everyone, it's a four-gun guy. I'll tell you what you do. You find a buddy who has a 50% off cert for Leofoto and you go buy a Leofoto tripod. Here's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about what happened and the new Leofoto, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to tell you the accessories that I got for this and why I got them. And yeah, we'll go from there and have some final thoughts. So if you're ready to go, let's get to it. Well, it's the end of the first day of a 2-day match up in out of Fort Worth in Weatherford, Texas. Great match. Gravestone Precision put it on. Just a fantastic match. I had shot good. I was very happy with how I shot that day. And getting in the truck, had my stuff all packed up, had my inner rail. I've done a review of this tripod. It's been a great tripod. $400. It really has been good. I had this tripod with my Swaros on it, and I get in the truck and I back up and I hear crunch. And I'm like, oh crap, what did I just do? Get out of the truck, and it had knocked this over and I had crushed one of the legs on it. Luckily just one. And the wife of a buddy of mine had seen the whole thing, and she said, I was praying you didn't drive over those Swaros, and I didn't. So they hit the ground, but they're still in great shape. Nothing wrong with them. So yeah, I had to get another tripod. So that was an expensive match for me because, you know, I mean, I'm not a top 10 shooter, so I didn't walk away with, you know, $2,000 worth of stuff off the prize table. But my really good buddy, Larry Deese, he told me, he said, look, I've got a 50% off cert for Leofoto. You can use that. And, you know, and the guy, he's just a great guy. He does all my rifle work, my barrel work. He is my gunsmith and the gunsmith to a lot of us guys in Walker County bench rest team. So yeah, he really did me a favor there. So I went ahead and ordered the Leofoto. Now I looked at some options there, and let me go through what I ordered, why I ordered it, and how it really is holding up. So let's talk about that next. Okay. When you're looking at these tripods, there's some things to consider, right? In some of the matches, you have to deploy on the clock. And if you have to deploy on the clock, it needs to be really fast to deploy. I'm getting away from actually using a tripod as a rear support. I'm really trying to go to just a man and his bag, as my buddy Larry always says. But some of these tripods, like Two Vets and those guys, other tripods, they have the really long single leg with just two legs, right? And that's great if you need to just deploy very quickly. I don't like that because I like a more compact package to store, to travel with. So that's why I didn't do that. But this Leofoto, this is the LM, so Lima Mike 403 Charlie X. It's their Summit line. And I really like that. From as far as quick deployment goes, I can do both these and they're out, right? It's 3 sections. And the other thing I like about these, which is different from my inner rail, on the inner rail, when you torqued it back down, you really had to, it was a lot to torque. These, it's a quarter twist, a half a twist, and they're open, and then a half a twist and it's locked. So I really like that about this. So very easy to deploy. If I had to deploy on the clock, it almost just falls right out. And it's a very tall tripod, as you'll see here in just a second. You know, totally deployed. Look at this thing. I'm standing up. This thing's tall. And I wanted it this tall. I didn't want to end up with something low that I'm always bending over with. And again, I'm not getting anything from these guys. I just bought it from them. And then it does have the leg locks that I can bring the leg all the way up if I wanted to, right? So you can really do a lot with this one. And that locks back down, which I like as well, right? Some of them stay unlocked and you've got to push it down. This one doesn't. Now, let me kind of bring this down a little bit and we'll talk about some of these accessories that I have here. Okay. Heads, yeah. When I looked at the heads, I was like, God, what do I get here, right? Because let me take this off real quick. We'll do this all separately. And this is their Mike Hotel 60 head. So MH60 head. This thing is smooth as silk from a rotation standpoint. The whole thing is just, you know, it's silky smooth. I loved my NRL. I had a Leofoto head for this NRL, but it was very gritty going in there. This thing just sets in, then you can lock it. I like the little features that they have here. They also have I don't know if you can see that here, but it's like a 3/8 or not 3/8, probably might be a 3/8 inch female there, so you could screw an adapter or screw some accessories on a bar out here, like lights or whatever if you wanted to. But this head is just phenomenal, right? You just turn this and you can set the how easy or difficult course you want this to be. But with my binoculars up here, it's fantastic. Now I'll tell you what I do when I mount my binoculars. I actually use my my double ARCA adapter that I got for my Garmin Zero chronograph. So I just put that up here, and then I have my plate. In fact, let me just show you. I'm going to put this together so you see what I did that actually saved me a lot of money. All right, well, welcome to Bubba's binocular setup. Look, this looks bad, right? Look, I could spend $400 on a plate and a really cool platform and all that stuff, but I'm going to do another video on something that I've kind of transitioned to, and I need to conserve weight. So with that in mind, this is the new setup, and I love it. So I've taken some still pictures. I'll put those here too. But this little piece right here is what I was talking about, is the adapter for my Garmin Zero, so I can put this on my rifle. Well, it just happens to be a dual ARCA rail. So it fits perfectly on this thing. It goes perfectly into the head. And then my front plate bag, which is what this is. This is the front plate bag for my rifle if I'm going to use tripod as rear support. Well, my point is, what am I doing anyway? I'm taking this off and putting it on my rifle, so I'm not going to have my binoculars up here. So I just disassemble this whole thing. It takes me about 15 seconds to take all this off. And this goes on my rifle. And when I'm not using it, it's the plate, or it's the plate for my binoculars. So look, I'm all about just leveraging the things you can leverage for what you need them for, right? And again, this thing is perfect. I've got these bungee cords that I did. I can do this with this, no problem. Shaking it, I can do that. I mean, those are $2,400 binoculars. I better not drop them on the ground. And yeah, that's how this is. So when you look at this, I'm going to hope this stays in focus here. It's so easy when you're looking through these things. I've got a hand up here, I've got my hand here, and I'm just adjusting. It's the smoothest adjustment. And if I need to pan, targets are on a pan, then I'm just doing this little pan knob here. Boom, look at that. It's smooth as silk, one finger. I mean, this thing is just phenomenal. So this is the setup that I have for my spotting when I'm either practicing or on a stage. Let me show you something else that I got that makes sense for some of these matches. In fact, one match we shot, I could have used it, but they already had one set up. So let's look at that accessory as well. All right, so this is the saddle that I got for this, and this is the, I'll look at the model number here. This is the GS3, so Golf Sierra 3 saddle. And look, this chassis is a Matrix Pro, MPA Matrix Pro. It's wide down here, and it fits fine. In fact, if I loosen this thing up, I probably have a good, I'd say 3/8 to 1/2 inch still on either, or total width here, right? So, but the rifle's balancing fine. But again, the thing I like about this is, if I am going to swing this around like that, if I'm down on the rifle, get down, you can see I don't have a scope on this thing. But look, I'm right here. I can adjust it as needed wherever I'm going to go, lock it down, and it's there, okay? At that match I was talking about, it was one of the most unsafe stages I've ever seen in my life. But what you had to do was, you could, when you were ready, right? I think when the buzzer went off, you had to deploy the tripod on the clock. Now, they had a tripod that was already deployed, that they had deployed, and in their mind deployed, and it was a single, it was like one of those two vets with the long single leg. So they let you deploy it, and you had this type of a setup. But the thing is, once the when the buzzer went off, you had time to load your rifle, lock it down, and get this, no magazine in yet, lock it down. The second it's locked, this hand goes away and you can't use it. So you had to load the rifle, you had to run the bolt, and you had to move the rifle to the next target. And there were, I think there was one, no, I think there were 2 targets. So all with this hand. So you've got to be really set up on something like this with the tension in this ball, or whatever, however they're using it, set very, very nicely so it's not going to fall over on you. So my whole point is, I didn't use this setup, but their setup was very similar to this, so it was easy to do that. So you're doing this, you're shooting, you're running the bolt, you're going to the next target, shooting. So be aware that in some of these matches, this was not a PRS sponsored match. It was a weird match. I'm going to do a video on it. But in some of these matches, you may have to do that. But with that being said, look, this whole tripod, and it came with this awesome case. And I think with, sorry, that probably just messed up the sound, but I think with half off, I want to say this whole thing came to $600, something like that. This saddle came in a really nice case. Everything that Leofoto does is first class. It really is. I'm very impressed with their workmanship. And again, guys, I don't get anything for this at all. I don't get anything for this. I just thought, again, it's a great product, and I really like so far how this thing's holding up and working for me. So look, if you're in the market and you shoot a match, let's say you shoot a 2-day match, right? A lot of the top shooters, they already have all this stuff. They're going to pass those certs by. Don't pass up a 50% off cert for this equipment, because that's a considerable amount of savings for very quality equipment. So there you go. Look, I hope you enjoyed this one. I've got some others coming up on some of the changes I'm making this year for because of 2-day matches, and because where they are and what I'm going to have to do at them. So I'll have those coming out in a little bit as well. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, shoot straight.